Yes, we can.
Okay, it's showing it.
Is it now? Okay.
It's just taking.
Yeah. This one is that phone. And then this is the TV studio.
9:01.
Actually, that's that.
Okay, I'm just supposed to let you guys know we are live. So
Okay.
everything you're saying is going live. Just be aware.
Okay, we will call the meeting to order. The January Law Enforcement Committee meeting, open meeting law requirements have been met. We have an 8-item agenda in front. I need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Agenda is adopted. Adoption of the prior minutes from 12/15/21.
I'll move to adopt as printed.
Move to adopt
Second.
and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Public comment. I believe the number is 538-1770. Any comments? Call 538-1770. Again, if there's anybody in the public with a comment, call 538-1770. Discussion and possible action on monthly department and jail activities, concerns, questions regarding monthly vouchers. Brett?
Yep, I'm just looking here, the one, on the monies received, you'll note there, Wisconsin surplus online auction, $38,395. That is the sale of 3 squad cars and no longer used equipment here at the sheriff's office. And by resolution, that all goes back to my vehicle line item, or my vehicle non-lapsing account. I didn't really see anything else in there that stood out to me.
Okay. Discussion of general operations.
All right, so as of today, I'll just go over our employment status here at the sheriff's office. I have got 1 patrol deputy that started yesterday, and that is due to the filling of the front door, the open front door security position. One of our union deputies will be posting into that, and this new deputy, Matt Peterson, from Independence, will be replacing the deputy that is moving into the courthouse security position. We've started a background on another part-time deputy, and we'll be interviewing 2 retired police officers for some part-time transport work for us. We're doing that next week. In the jail, we did start a background on a part-time female corrections officer. She has since taken herself out of consideration, so we're back at ground zero with part-time female help up in the jail. We've had 4 corrections officers out on FMLA since the first part of, at least this all started in November. In December, it was up to 4 of them out on FMLA. 2 of them will be coming back here tomorrow now. So it's been kind of a struggle for them to fill shifts up there, but we made it through January, and we have 2 returning tomorrow. So, and then we've had a number of illnesses with our staff. Mostly are testing negative, but we have had a couple who have tested positive and who've been out. No serious illnesses reported, however. So along with the jail, At the last meeting, I told you I was investigating a new food server for the jail. We are still in the middle of that. The healthcare center is still providing our meals at this time. I'm waiting to hear back from them on a contract proposal for 2022, and I'm also just waiting for a contract proposal from Summit Foods, who is a prospective jail food service provider. It's all in their court right now. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. The live scan that we've been talking about for the last couple meetings, we received grant money for that. That is up and running in the lobby up there now. So we now have 2 live scans, and that's for fingerprinting. That eliminates the need of moving equipment in and out of the jail. And that piece of equipment will also be moved into the new facility when the time comes. So as far as the new facility goes, our transition team is getting very close to taking their positions in the trailer to start the transition into the new facility. Joan Covell, a jail sergeant, and Megan Peterson, a jail correction staff, will be our transition team. On the 26th, next week on the 26th, we'll be hosting a kickoff meeting with them and our construction manager. I've got the chair of the exec finance committee sitting on that meeting, and it's basically just to tell us what to expect over the next 20 to 24 months transitioning into the new jail. And I'll have more of a report on that next month once we get it going and we know what it all entails. So there's a trailer sitting by the antenna outside the courthouse. That will be the trailer where the team works out of, and it'll be Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week primarily. Should we run short-staffed up in the jail, they will be called back up there. The jail shift comes first, but we're hoping that with the staff we have in place that they will be able to work the vast majority of their time in the transition trailer as designed. We are receiving guidance from the National Institute of Corrections for that transition team. They are going to be doing all the training for them, and they are doing the kickoff meeting next week, and that is all free of charge. That's a no-cost thing that comes from the National Institute of Corrections. That's basically, squad cars. I've ordered a patrol vehicle and a transport van. I will be ordering unmarked vehicles for the remainder of the year for my detective staff, basically. I cannot order marked squad cars anymore, or police package vehicles anymore this year. They've cut it off already, but luckily I didn't have that on the schedule. So the one police package vehicle I needed, I was able to order late last year. It'll be here around June. And the transport van I ordered will be here around, I'm guessing, the first part of April. And I'll be ordering 2 or 3 others for my detective staff. So in a nutshell, that's what's going on around here. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have, or about anything going on, I guess.
Anybody have any questions of the sheriff?
I do,
Tim?
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Sheriff, for the update on the meal service. Since that was an action item, or that was a report item last month, and also for the transition team, I was kind of wondering about that. I would request an update on the coroner vehicle. What's happening with that? It was, let's see, the minutes say it was deferred until, let's see, I'm reading backwards here. Recommendation was have the coroner complete a project initiation form to implement the start of the process, but this does not guarantee the reimbursement of the purchase or repairs of the vehicle. At any rate, what's the status of the coroner's vehicle?
Very difficult to hear, but I think you're asking about an update on the coroner vehicle that was on the minutes of the last meeting?
Yes, Sheriff, I am. Thank you.
I have no update on that. I have not, Bonnie has not reached out to me at all. I have not heard from her on what to do on that. And I was under the impression that the next step was that she was going to be putting together the project initiation as part of her budget. So I'm I have not heard a thing about it since the last meeting.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, at the last meeting when we discussed it, the suggestion had been that maybe Brett could put it into his fleet, but then the discussion of the committee was that that was a department fleet for, for the law enforcement, for the sheriff's department, that he does not have oversight or responsibility for the coroner's office, which is a separate office. So we basically, my impression was that he wasn't going to add it to his fleet, that he was not going to be a part of that process anymore, so that it would stay within the coroner's department. That was my recollection.
If I recall right, that was the recommendation of the committee. That wasn't my recommendation. I was more than happy to take that on, but after discussion, I believe the committee felt it was best that it stay with the coroner's budget and that it would be presented by the coroner as a project initiation.
So I take it nothing has happened since last month from the coroner. No, the coroner has taken no further action.
Not from my end, it hasn't.
Okay.
Like I said, I haven't heard a word from Bonnie.
Yeah, I think
Thank
it probably is going to go back up to probably Paul and the chair and whoever. But yeah, we let Brett out of it last month.
Mr. Chair, I have had contact with the coroner since the last meeting via telephone, and I kind of explained to her the committee's move and that we wanted to see a project initiation form, and through the course of our conversation, it became apparent that the coroner didn't have the same opinion that the committee did in regards to the project initiation form. But upon further discussion, it sounded to me like she understood the request, and I thought she was going to submit a project initiation form. I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't occurred. I did say that realistically could not expect reimbursement without a project initiation form following through the process that's been put into place. And fairly certain she understood what I was saying, so again, I'm surprised that it hasn't occurred.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Sally.
I do have information on that. A few weeks ago, I did look into it. She did turn in a project initiation form to the clerk. She did it prior to budget, but somewhere in the process, she did not make it, that request did not make it to the budget packet for exec finance, but she did turn in a project initiation form on this, and I did see it, actually saw it. So that's yeah, I don't know where it goes from that, but she did turn one in, so I don't know who puts this back on the agenda, but Paul does have a copy of the project initiation form, and she did turn it in prior to budget.
Paul has a copy of it?
Yes, that's who had it, was Paul.
I've got a follow-up, Ron?
Yes. Tim.
Well, Sally, or does I'm just looking for follow-through here. Does anybody know who's paying the bills on the vehicle that Bonnie bought? I mean, she's probably running up mileage, and I know there was a pretty healthy bill for brake repair. I guess I'd just like to know who's going to be accountable for whatever mileage reimbursement she asked for and any kind of repairs. Anybody know?
It would be her responsibility to turn in her budget items or anything to do with her department, so it'd be her responsibility to ask to have it put back on this agenda so we could address it again. I mean, she's a department head, so she needs to bring it to this committee.
Okay, thanks, Sally.
So, yeah.
Well, at least we know where the ball is.
Yeah, we could have her
It's
put
not
it
in play,
on,
however.
have it put on the agenda for next month and have her report here. I guess that would be the
You could ask her.
easiest.
Yeah.
I think if we could get it on the agenda for next month and include a discussion about current trends in the coroner's office. I've received
Current trends.
Yeah, a couple of complaints about things that are happening, changes that are occurring with the way the coroner's office does business. Specifically, the number of autopsies.
I'll reinforce Mr. Schreiner's request to have this as an agenda item next month.
Okay, so we can put that on the agenda for next month? Okay,
I don't know what's going on.
any other questions or comments?
I would say if whoever reaches out to Bonnie, if anybody does, we need her to track down that initiation request with Paul or bring her copy, but because we did say that we needed a project initiation form, so if we're going to do anything, she needs to make sure we have that before the next meeting.
And that, if I could add, Ron, if that form now would be 5-6 months old, so the coroner might want to take a look at it again, or update it or something like that.
Right.
Sally, when you say you saw the project initiation form prior to budget, can you be a little more specific on the timing of that?
I just saw it a couple weeks ago. I had gone down to the chair's office, I think, to ask Paul if there had been a project initiation form or not, because we had told her to do that back in July or August. So when I went down a couple weeks ago, Paul came into the office and he had the stack of them and he waved it and he said, "Here it is." And I looked at it and I scanned it and saw that's what it was. But he said, I thought she had turned one in, but yeah, here it is. And then he said that she turned it in before budget, and it didn't make it didn't make it to the budget process, or didn't get added, or what. I didn't quite hear that because my phone started ringing just as he was saying it, but he did say it never made it to the budget. So yeah, so I don't know what happened in exec finance. So Tim, if you don't even recall having seen that at all.
I recall that the committee turned down the request, but that was 6 months ago, or that was 5 months ago. It was some time ago. And if the coroner is interested, if they're, again, I don't think this committee is trying to stonewall the coroner. If there's a need for this vehicle, then we'd like to address it, but we just don't want to do it. The committee rejected it because the exec finance committee rejected it because it had the form had not gone through law enforcement. There was no there was no support for it, so it was just sort of dropped in out of the blue.
So you saw,
I believe I saw it, yes.
Okay.
And that would have been in September, October, somewhere in there.
So I would say, yeah, we put it back on the agenda, and then at that point, because we did say we needed the project initiation form, not knowing that it had been turned in already. She met, we asked for that first, so now we know that we have it, so now we bring it back to the agenda and then again debate the merits of it at that point. But in the spirit of fair play, we did say we wanted to see it. Now we've got it, so we need to bring it back for discussion.
So if we'd have it on the February.
Carol's already noted that.
Yep, okay. Any other questions? Set next meeting date and time. There's nothing left on there.
Before we do that, one thing I forgot to mention is it's basically unremarkable, but our jail numbers remain steady for the month of December as they were in the month of November. The average daily population is right around 30 inmates, or it was 30 inmates, and we had 9 out of county on average for the month of December, which is very similar to November and the month before that also. So.
Okay. Have you got a date picked out for the next meeting? February 16th?
The third Wednesday of February would be our typical. I will be out of state for that meeting. I would be back on Thursday, the 17th, or anything the following week. But the 14th, 15th, and 16th, I'll be out of county.
If we went the following Wednesday, would that, the 17th, we've got a meeting that morning for personnel
Yeah.
bargaining.
The 23rd.
No, you said on the 17th you'd be back, but we have a morning
Right.
meeting already.
Right. The following Wednesday would be the 23rd. I heard
Yeah.
you say the following Wednesday, and I'm open for that one.
Anybody else? Or everybody
Sounds
okay with that?
That's okay.
That's fine for me.
Okay, so we'll go February 23rd at 9 o'clock?
Yep.
Sounds
Okay,
okay.
meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty exciting, aren't they?